As I said in my last review video, I'm not a professional photographer. I'm pretty much a novice at all this stuff, so take anything I say with a grain of salt. Could get you in trouble. Hi everybody, back in February I did a review on a gimbal and a microphone adapter and a microphone for my GoPro. It was a Zhiyun gimbal. I think that's how you pronounce that, I'm not sure. And the Ulanzi case to hold the microphone adapter and all that. And so I just wanted to do an update mostly on the microphone and the gimbal. A couple of issues I did run into with that gimbal that you should know about before if you decide to buy one of these. That it may be discontinued now, so it might be something you want to look at if you buy this brand too. This was a Zhiyun Crane M2. I've used it a couple of times. The microphone does a pretty good job. I did have a sound guy tell me, looked at one of my videos and said, well, you should have used an external mic. Thought I was using the microphone built into the camera. So it's just a cheap microphone. You can see it here. I got it rigged up on the side here of this gimbal because if you put it up here on the top, you can't get this to balance very well. It's kind of difficult to balance with this setup because this case is taller than the original one. On the microphone also, depends on what you're using it for, what conditions are, whether you want to use this microphone. So if you're doing an interview, and like one video I did, I was doing an interview with a person and it came out really good because I could point the microphone, it was booming to them and it could hear me behind it as well because I was right behind it, so it did a decent job there. I did a graduation and I'm glad I did this because after I got to editing the video for the school, I had the mic on the GoPro that I did the review on, and I had the camera that I'm filming with now, sound from it, and I had the drone which has no sound there, videoing with that as well. But what I did, I had an old tripod and I went and bought this here. It's an Olympus VN541 PC digital voice recorder, and it worked really well. We put it on the tripod, set it right in front of the speaker, and it picked up all the sounds great. Now this does have different settings on it, and this is on the wrong setting now. I seem to have the best results with this if I just put it on talk. It's got talk, memo, LP, and music, which music is really clear and doesn't pick up any background noise at all, but it's real faint too. I think you've got to have it right next to whatever you're talking on. So as I've been going through here, I have been switching whichever mic I'm using in the video at the moment, so you can tell different sounds from different microphones. So if, for instance, right now I am using the sound from the Nikon that I'm recording the video with. Now I am using the mic on the GoPro. Let me turn it toward me here. Now I am using the mic on the GoPro. And now I am using the voice recorder, or the digital voice recorder. So we can compare, see which one sounds better. Been using the digital voice recorder a lot lately. It works out pretty well for me on some of my videos because it picks up a lot. If you don't want a lot of background noises or nothing like that, you wouldn't want that. But if you're in a situation where you want ambient sounds such as birds, bugs, or something like that, it works really well if you put it in the top mode. Now, as far as the gimbal, it's been good. It's always steady. You can see it keeps that camera steady. And I'll try to split screen so you can see what I'm doing at the same time. So it works really well. Now with this taller case for the GoPro, I did have to set this on medium strength. This has got 3 settings for the size camera. I think a GoPro and a phone, you would set it on the lowest setting. Little heavier camera, you set it on the second, and like the mirrorless camera, the Nikon that I'm recording with, you would set it on the heaviest. So I did find out if I put this on lightest, if I'm in the woods or something and I'm doing something, sometimes if I do something wrong, it'll just go flaky. But it seems like right now with the middle setting, it seems to handle it a lot better. Just what that setting does, give the motor more strength. Now I'm going to take the GoPro off here real quick and show you the problem that I had with this. I'm going to take the mic off as well. So let's just turn the GoPro right off. Okay, I can't get to that button. I'll just take it off of there. Let's just do it this way. I made that look a lot more cumbersome than it should have been. Okay, now I can turn that off. Sometimes when you mount the GoPro on there, it gets in the way of the on-off switch. Okay, the GoPro's off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Usually it'll go flaky without any weight on here. I'm surprised I forgot to turn it off first. Go ahead and take my mic off of here. And I want to take this off to show you the issue that I had. So when I first did my review, I had said that I had seen a review where the plastic button here keeps popping off. And I said I hadn't had that problem. Well, me and my big mouth, next time I use the camera or the gimbal, that button popped off out here in the yard actually. Well, actually I was in the woods first time it popped off, and luckily it landed right at my feet and I was able to find it. The second time I was out here in my yard and it popped off. Went out to do a filming, got there and found that button was missing. And luckily, after I got home, I found the button out here in the yard. The problem is with this button, you control it with your thumb and you sometimes get under it and pop it right off of there. I ended up having to take some glue and glue that button back on. The next problem I had with this, which was you might call a more serious problem. I'm going to lock this so it's not flopping all over real quick. Okay, now I had set this up on the tripod, put it on charge because the battery was low, and I forgot left it on there a couple or 3 days. Came back, and of course the battery indicator said it was fully charged. So I took it off charge, and the battery indicator still was on. It never went off. It wouldn't turn off, it wouldn't turn on, it wouldn't do nothing. It was frozen. I tried everything in the world, you know. I looked on the internet, see if there was a reset or not, something, and there was nothing. There's no external reset button on this thing, which is most any other electronics I get, there's an external reset. Even on, I believe there's one on the GoPro, there's one on your phone, you know, most electronic equipment, for when it freezes like that, you can do a reset. Well, this thing does not have that. So I emailed the seller, is still under warranty, and they said, yeah, send it back to us, we'll fix it for you. Well, me, I'm a little impatient for that, so I did not send it back to them. What I ended up doing, I took it apart. I know it voided the warranty and everything, which was a little bit of a challenge at first, because underneath here, this is like a plastic cover and it's glued on. It just kind of peeled off there, and there's 2 screws under there. Then it just kind of splits apart. And in there is the battery and the circuit boards and all that. So I unplugged the battery from the circuit board, let it set for 15, 20 minutes. I wanted to make sure. Went back, hooked the battery up and everything, and since then I've had no problem with it. And so I emailed the company and said, hey, you know, you ought to put a reset button on that thing for situations like that. So that's been the 2 biggest problems I've had with this thing. Actually, it's been the only problems I've had with it. For the money and everything I spent on it, I'll have to go back and look at what I spent. It wasn't that much. I think it's still a good deal, except for that freeze up problem. They need to put a reset button. So I don't want to drag this video out or anything. I just want to give you an update on the review on that. Let you maybe give you a hint if you have this problem or something, what you can do if it's out of warranty. It's not real hard to do, and if it ever happens again, I'm gonna rig me up a reset button. Overall, I'm pretty happy with everything. Like I said, the microphone, it depends on what you're doing, what it's good for. Different situations, certain situations, it's not that great a mic. Interview, something like that, something close, it's good. The adapter, of course, that I bought in the case, no problems there. They are a little bit hard to balance on the gimbal, but it's a lot better than having that internal mic on that thing rattling all the time. And for something like we did at the graduation, I highly recommend doing what we did there, because the sound in any of these cameras did not come out worth a dime, because the cameras were in different areas all the time. We were getting shots of graduates as they were coming in and stuff like that, so we couldn't have a camera setting in one particular spot all the time to get audio and keep the audio at a constant level. So this worked out really great. If you ever have to do something like that, I highly recommend one of these. It's not hard to edit the track in there and get it all synced up. One good trick is when you start your recording, give a smack like that. When you go into editing, you'll have a spike there on all your cameras. Line that up and usually you're good. So hope that helped you out with any of this. And if you happen to have one of these and you have that issue with repair, now you know what you can do without having to pay to have it done if it's out of warranty. So thanks for watching, Have a good one. Bye, y'all.